I get jealous in a really weird way. Like when a guy that I'm into is more into another woman, like more than me, I get jealous in a really weird and interesting way. So let me explain.
This lady is so annoying. And she's about to explain how when she gets jealous, it's not how other people get jealous. It's a very unique way of getting jealous to then go on and explain the most basic jealousy in the most unremarkable way. Women do this a lot. They think everything they do is special and unique when it's just basic and copy pasted. They do this because they tell themselves relentlessly that they are special, that they are unique, and that they are chosen. And they have to do this to regulate their emotions. This is how the woman provides herself with up regulation. They do not have the vitality of confidence, so they replace the lack of confidence with the vitality of delusion and entitlement, which, to be fair, is better than having no vitality at all. Actually, some of you fellas can actually learn from this. But fellas, remember, women have to do this. Because we protect our women, we do not expose women to truths, and we do not expose women to the pain and suffering and hardship that they need to be exposed to so they can have a chance of overcoming these things. And when you overcome these things, you are renewed with greater character, greater competency, greater confidence, greater perspective, greater joy, greater ability to enjoy life. Because we protect our women, we actually keep them very, very small. And this is why they don't develop the vitality of confidence. So instead of giving them that opportunity to do that, we fill their minds with delusion and entitlement, right? Because the woman needs some type of vitality to get out of bed in the morning and to participate in the world. Energy and vitality is needed. And so obviously, if you don't have any confidence or competency, then you need to get that energy from somewhere. And the woman is very susceptible to delusion and entitlement.
I'm an extremely confident human being, okay? I will always look at other women and think that I'm more attractive than her. I will always think that my personality is better than hers. And that's not like a thought that I regularly have every time I look at another woman. It's not. It's just relative to the man who likes the other woman, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, damn, like I'm literally the better pick. Like
when you lack the vitality of confidence, the ego desperately tries to replace and generate this vitality from somewhere. And what it does is that it generates this energy through developing a false sense of superiority over others. And this is why superiority complexes are always inferiority complexes in disguise. The ego literally alchemizes your inferiority complex into a superiority one in order to protect you. It is a defense mechanism. True confidence comes from within, and it does not need to compare itself to others to validate itself, to approve of itself, to operate or to function correctly. It is inwards that projects outwards, and this is felt by others subconsciously. This is what we call attractive. People will be drawn into it. It's not outwards forcing itself in, which is also felt by others subconsciously. This is something that people gravitate away from. A lot of the times when someone doesn't like you, or when you don't like someone and you can't even comprehend why, this is what your nervous system is picking up from their nervous system. Confidence grants you aura. Superiority, which is always a desperate false sense of it, just displays the opposite of confidence to others. It makes people avoid you, dislike you, and even feel sorry for you, regardless if this person is in a position of legitimate power or not. Confidence and a desire to feel superior over others, or even just the feeling of superiority over others, is an oxymoron. The dysregulated person will either feel inferior to others or superior to others. It's the regulated person who sees other people as equals.
So I'm not jealous of the fact that she has a better personality than me, or that she has a better body, or yada, 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 because I already think I'm better in both of those scenarios. The thing that I'm jealous about is that she's less than me, and he's choosing to pour more time into her. Like, what do you mean? I'm the better catch. I'm the better option. Why are you putting so much energy into somebody who is less than that? because I'm already perfect. Like, why are you chose wrong. I'm annoyed that you chose wrong. And that's how I've always felt with like every crush I've ever had who liked another girl over me. That's just always my feelings about it.
Now, fellas, I don't know if this is satire or not, but it's not funny. You see what I'm trying to say? So I'm just going to go on like she's being serious. And we all know this is how the vast majority of people think. And this is definitely how the absolute vast majority of women think. You know, and so there's always truth in funny things, and that's what makes it funny. But this isn't funny. So I'm just going to go on like I'm going to go on like it's not satire. Confidence and jealousy is an oxymoron, because confidence is the feeling of competency gained through overcoming the self, being vulnerable with the self in order to expose yourself to truth, pain, and suffering, and then overcoming truth, pain, and suffering. This provides the psyche, the ego, and nervous system with the reference points and experiences of overcoming fear and hardship, which in turn generates the vitality of confidence through competence. If you have slayed many dragons in a world full of dragons, you will feel confident. You will develop courage and you will develop bravery and resilience. This in turn will give you a positive evaluation of yourself, a positive evaluation of the world, and a positive evaluation of others as your level of understanding increases. Because as human beings, what we don't understand, we fear, we judge, we condemn, and even destroy. Something I always try to explain to you guys is that the masculine is always felt positively. This is one of the biggest differences between the masculine and the feminine. The masculine is a source of vitality, grandiosity, and positivity. It represents the sun. This is why God represents the sun, and this is the reason why we refer to God as He. The feminine is always felt negatively. The feminine looks at the cup half empty. The masculine looks at the cup half full. This is key and this is crucial. There are many reasons as to why the woman has this negativity bias, this sense of negativity, and for good reason too. The woman's psychology and biology and strategy and mating strategy is completely different from the man. The woman is designed to protect herself, to protect her children, and to protect other people who she can see herself in. The woman's form of love is projected sympathy. Right, and that's when the woman has a desire to provide and protect type of love, right? You know, her romantic love is, as I said, fixation, infatuation, obsession. The man is not any of those things. The man, as I said, is to overcome the self, is to embark on the masculine journey to independence and 100% vulnerability with himself, because this is how the man develops all of the tools and competencies to gain the vitality of confidence, of love, of abundance, of generosity, of fairness. And this is what makes the man into a good man, into a good leader. This is how the man can make a positive impact on the world. And this is what attracts everybody to the man. And this is what makes everybody look at that man as the leader, as competent, as a rightful leader. This is what's going to make the woman attracted to that man. With women and with the feminine, so men who also have the feminine spirit, aka men who refuse to be vulnerable with themselves or have an inability to be vulnerable with themselves, men who haven't overcome themselves, so men who are still enslaved by their own thoughts, feelings, motivations, and fears. These men don't slay dragons, they slay lizards. Now listen to me here, right? Listen to me here, right? The true dragons in this world is the truth that we deny and reject and we're too afraid to accept. The true dragons in this world are internal. The most hardest things to do in this world is to overcome internal battles. External battles are easy, and this is the reason why people externalize things and see an enemy in external things all of the time. When you refuse to slay your dragons, which is always something internal, you will end up slaying lizards, which is always something external and way weaker and easier to slay than the dragons. With women, familiarity breeds contempt, and with the feminine man, familiarity breeds contempt, because lizards are always somebody that is close to them, or it's just some kind of insignificant battle. Like when I see you guys chat crap in my comment section pour your heart out in these kind of judgmental, kind of false sense of superiority way. When I see you guys chat crap in my comment section, I just see you guys as slaying a lizard. To me, I just assume that you guys are so weak and pathetic that you're refusing to slay your own dragon. So here you are trying to slay an imaginary lizard in my comment section. Like, fella, who are you trying to prove a point to? Me or yourself? Like, who are you actually trying to prove a point to? It looks like you're trying to prove a point to yourself. You know, come out my comment section and write that into your notes section. Either say something insightful, either show a man some support, thank a man for whatever value you've derived from my video. My page isn't an ideological page, okay? It's just information. So if you could take any information from my video, then you've derived value from it. I don't require you to 100% agree with what I'm saying. All right, this is a space of information, modern schema. All right, so we trade information here. So I'm gonna give you some analogies, and you can give me some analogies. But when you're kind of like leaving these emotionally charged comments in my section, fella, go and slay some internal dragons. There's nothing here for you to slay. They're too weak. If you're too weak to slay the internal dragons, you are too weak to actually slay real external dragons as well. So what you will do is you can only slay people who are close to you. This is why these individuals are very backstabby. These people will betray their friends, betray their partner, betray their family members, right? Because they're so weak because of the lack of vulnerability. They're too afraid to be vulnerable with themselves, so they haven't developed the strength that comes with overcoming truth, pain, and suffering, right? And of course, truth, pain, and suffering are the inevitabilities of this world. The inequalities and injustices of this world is inevitable, all right? And so because they're too weak to do that, they're too weak to actually slay real enemies either. So they end up just slaying the people closest to them. Then they end up just slaying the people foolish enough to love them. They end up slaying the individuals too silly to see how bad and weak of a person that they are, if that makes sense. A lizard is always somebody that is close to you. A lizard is always somebody in that person's inner circle, you know, and then all of a sudden they start to see a dragon in that person, if that makes sense, right? And this is also karma and fate of the individuals who fail to be vulnerable with themselves. They haven't exposed themselves to enough truth to even identify who the true enemies are and who the true allies are. They confuse friend and foe all of the time. Every human being has a powerful desire to slay dragons. We have to slay something. We've got a lot of negative energy and we have a desire to express this somehow. All right, and it actually takes a degree of work in order for us to identify who we're supposed to slay. Be it the dark principalities of this world, the evil ideologies of this world, or somebody who is threatening you in your family. Regardless, you can't be a pacifist in this world. Pacifists are also punished. Pacifists and pacifisms, it's just individuals who refuse to slay their internal dragons, and they convince themselves that they shouldn't slay anything whatsoever. There's always something to slay in this world. If you do not slay your internal dragons, you will end up slaying lizards, which is always going to be your friends and your family. So when you take the sword out of this thing's chest, thinking that you slay the dragon, it's just going to be your brother, your sister, your family, your best friend, or your partner, individuals who actually love you. Or you'll go online and you'll leave annoying comments. You know, you will become a keyboard warrior and you will enter imaginary wars and imaginary battles from the comforts of wherever you are. All right. And you know, in my previous videos, I've always explained to you guys, and I've been explaining to you guys recently, the sheer importance of vulnerability with the self. The world will try to lie to you as a man and try to tell you that you need to be vulnerable with others. And this is where you go wrong, because first of all, in order for you to project the right type of vulnerability onto others, you need to have embarked on a masculine journey to independence and 100% vulnerability with yourself, because you're only going to have a good impact on others, and it's only going to be beneficial to yourself as a man that you have overcome your own weaknesses. You've alchemized your weaknesses into strength. You've done the work on yourself. So when you are being vulnerable with others, it's always felt as strong and powerful. It's always felt as strong and powerful. And then when you're dysregulated, when you go through something very difficult, when you are feeling weak, you don't share that vulnerability with your subjects, with your woman, with your children. That's a bad leader. That's an incompetent leader. That's a weak leader. No, you deal with this dysregulation and with this weakness in solitude, with your God, with your trusted generals, with your trusted brothers who are also leaders and who are also 100% vulnerable with themselves, and also understand that they too fall, they get dysregulated, they experience weaknesses. But it's the job of the leader to project strength on those who follow it. It's not the job of the leader to project weakness when it's feeling weak. The same example I always use, and this is the analogy my client gave me, is that if we go to war and the war generals begin to realize that we are losing this war, imagine if the leaders of the country come on TV crying, hyperventilating, full of anxiety and fear, be like, I don't know what to do, fellas, we ain't got enough missiles to counteract their missiles. I think they're going to send a nuclear bomb, fellas. Hug your kids, hug your family, kiss your dog. I don't know what's going on. That's the worst thing that leader can do, right? Because no matter what's happening, it's the job of the leader to project certainty, hope. This is what makes people feel faith, certainty. The job of the leader ultimately is to burden the bulk of fear and anxiety and uncertainty and truth. He burdens the bulk of that, so those who follow it doesn't have to feel and live their life in fear, uncertainty, ambiguity, anxiety, hopelessness, right? And so what he does, which is for the greater good, him, the leader, and his trusted war generals will find a solution behind closed doors. And this is also the reason why, fellas, why you're not supposed to just always tell people the truth. Weak people, compulsive people, believe that they have to always communicate the truth to others. If someone demands the truth from this individual, they have to communicate the truth. That's not what powerful people do. That's not what leaders do. That's not what the masculine does. All right? He has a control over the truth. He's not a woman who has to overshare everything and have to tell the truth. That's something the feminine does. That's something weak people do because they're supposed to be led. It's compulsive. They're supposed to be led. Individuals who are incompetent has this powerful desire to overshare the truth all of the time, or just feels compelled to share the truth because the herd needs the weak individuals to communicate the truth to the strong individuals, if that makes sense. All right, leaders and powerful individuals, they're smart, they're intelligent, they understand and they can identify that emotional feminine things can't handle the truth. Okay, so men have always lied to women. I know that's going to sound really, really funny, but listen to what I'm saying. Men has always lied to women. Men has always lied to children. You don't have to call it a lie. You can call it a half-truth, a concealment of the truth. All right, because the masculine understands that the truth has to be communicated in specific ways. And in many, many ways, the truth should not be communicated. The masculine is strategic with the truth. Even God is strategic with the truth. God would not just tell you a level of truth that you can't handle. God doesn't even show himself to you because it's a level of truth that the mind can't comprehend. Really deep what I'm saying. All right, there's a level of truth that people can't handle. And it's the job of the leader to withhold truths at the right times and then communicate truths at the right time. And sometimes you just have to lie. All right. If a business leader understands that, oh, Jesus Christ, look at with how things are looking right now. It's looking like maybe this company won't be here in the next 2 years. He's not going to communicate that to his employees. He's not. He will lie if he has to and then try to provide a solution behind closed doors. Okay. Listen to what I'm saying. All right, individuals who are filled with power, individuals who haven't been conditioned and indoctrinated, right, doesn't just have this compulsive slave-like mentality of I have to tell the truth just for any emotional reason. Okay, let's have some control of ourselves and let's understand that the truth isn't something that somebody has to be given just because they demand it. Come out of that way of thinking. It is a slave-like mentality, fellas. Literally, it's a slave-like mentality. If I got to lie to my woman to keep the peace and to not inconvenience myself, if I got to lie to my woman so she doesn't destroy her life and my life and everybody's life, the kids' life, they're not going to lie. Straight up. Straight up, fellas. Right. Anyway, as I said, if you guys don't understand that, maybe it's because I'm communicating the truth to you a bit too early. Maybe I should not be communicating this truth to you right here. Maybe you need to, level up a little bit and do a bit of work on yourself before you can actually accept this truth. And if you guys in my comment section, if you don't quite understand this, if you really, really bounce back against this, then maybe it's a bit too soon for us to have this conversation. But anyway, guys, love you guys. I remember I saw a comment the other day saying something about, my sensitivity to comments and people talking shit is quite feminine, and why I block everybody, why that's quite feminine. And it's like, fam, do you think sensitivity, I don't know why you guys don't understand emotions correctly. If you think that the masculine isn't emotional, then I don't know what's wrong with you. If you think that human beings isn't emotional, then I don't know what is wrong with you. Power and powerful people express themselves freely, all right? It's the powerless individuals who are inhibited. They don't express themselves freely. They don't express anger. They don't express themselves freely. You see what I'm saying? Like me, I'm sensitive. I allow myself to be sensitive. There are many, many things I work on, and my sensitivity is not one of those things. Quick to get into it. I'm very sensitive to disrespect, and it's not something that I plan on working on. Thank you very much, fellas. All right, so stop trying to convince me to plan on work. I'm gonna always remain sensitive to disrespect because it's only benefited me. It's only benefited me. That's why people in my life treat me very, very bloody well. Maybe if you was a bit more sensitive to disrespect, then you'll be treated better. As I said to you guys, I'm very vulnerable with myself. I know myself inside and out. There's nothing you can tell me about myself that I don't know. I spend time in exposure. I spend time in truth and overcoming pain and suffering as anytime I get an opportunity to do so. So I'm aware that I am. Trust me, everyone in my life, you have no idea how sensitive I actually am. Real talk. You have no idea how sensitive I am in real life. Very sensitive to disrespect. Excuse me, what was that? I sense a little bit of disrespect in that. Do you want to explain yourself fully before I get angry with you? So I'm trying to say I'm very sensitive to it. So I don't know where you guys are from. You guys are obviously from the other side of the pond, where you guys think you can just freely chat shit and you don't even know how to chat to me. If you don't know how to chat to me, that's your problem. These are the rules that I live with, by fellas. Like you got to do what I did. I know how to talk to a man. I know how to speak to the ego of a man. I know how to talk to a man to where he's not offended, triggered, and aroused. Me, I don't want any men around me who are offended, triggered, and aroused. I don't know why you do. To me, that's very feminine. For on your side, I feel your feminine spirit offending me, triggering, and arousing me. That's the feminine spirit. My reaction to me being aroused and triggered, that's your problem. That's your problem. Please don't think I have my sword is always there and it's ready for the go. And anything that happens, I put my hand on that sword immediately. I'm always looking to cut the head off something, and if it's you, then that's your fault. Please continue to support the channel. Please leave a like, leave a comment. Don't sign up for one-on-one coaching right now, actually. I'm fully booked, but please send me an email, right? And then, as I said, I'm opening up other channels. I'm opening up other things that we could do, all right? Group sessions, Patreon's coming out, live Q&As. All of these things are going to be happening. Everybody who has reached out to me, I will get back to you. I'm now in the process of getting back to everybody. I look forward to getting to know you guys. Love you guys so much. Oh yeah, I have not been talking about this, guys. Arsenal are the Premier League champions. There's a potential that we win the Champions League this year. Fellas, I'm 33. This is Jesus' year. 33 was what you call the Jesus year. Because when Jesus did everything, he was 33. The fact that Arsenal have won the league this year and my business is taking off, this might just be the year, fellas. This might just be the year. Well, for me anyway. Guys, love you guys so much. Catch you in the next one.